If you're from Idaho, you've probably heard the words Ruby Ridge thrown around a lot. But what exactly happened? How did a backwoods standoff inspire the Oklahoma City bombing? Let's talk about it. Randy Weaver was a former Green Beret who moved his wife Vicky and their kids to rural Idaho in the 80s. They lived totally off grid, they homeschooled their kids, and apparently were prepping for the apocalypse. Vicky actually believed that God had chosen them to survive the end times. Their beliefs were extreme, and they were laced with white supremacist and anti government ideology. The ATF began to investigate Weaver after he had attended some meetings with the Aryan Nation, which had a compound near Hayden Lake, Idaho. Eventually, two undercover agents convinced him to sell them weapons and saw off two shotguns. This was clearly a setup, and when he failed to appear in court later, a bench warrant was issued for him. On August 21st, 1992, U.S. Marshals were scouting his property, and the family dog alerted the Weavers. Randy's 14-year-old son and his family friend, Kevin Harris, end up in a gunfight with U.S. Marshals. The dog and his son are both killed in this gunfight. Also a U.S. Marshal. This resulted in an 11-day standoff where eventually his wife was accidentally killed by a sniper while still holding their baby. A veteran and former Green Beret stepped in to do the negotiation. This guy was sort of a legend amongst survivalists and had many ties to far-right prepper movements. His name was Bo Gritz, and frankly, this guy deserves his own video. Some people think he inspired the character Rambo, and he ran for president even at one point. Regardless, this guy talked Randy and Kevin into surrendering. In court, Kevin was acquitted of all of his charges, and Randy Weaver was only convicted for missing his court date and bail violations. He later won a $3.1 million settlement against the US government for the wrongful death of his son and his wife. This event, as well as the Waco siege, became a rallying cry for anti-government extremists. Timothy McVeigh, who was responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing, cited both of these as reasons for why he did it. After Ruby Ridge and Waco, federal agencies had to overhaul their rules of engagement. They wanted to avoid another deadly standoff like these. So much so, in fact, that a man named John Joe Gray from Texas got into a 15-year standoff with law enforcement. This is the longest running law enforcement standoff in US history, until a district attorney finally just dropped the charges. Sadly, even today, northern Idaho remains a magnet for apocalyptic and white supremacist groups. Follow Ida History for more stories like this.